begins. It is yet another week. We are progressing into the Great Awakening. Nothing can stop what's coming. But it is an adventure. I think that's probably the best way to look at it. Oh, let me get the chats going here. I'm sure you're experiencing it. We've all been through this giant adventure. We're waiting for it to end. Everybody wants to know when it's going to end. It's ongoing. It's ongoing. It is a crushing of this evil layer. It's first, in order to crush the enemy, you have to identify it. Every time you're put on hold, every time you wait in a line, that is the enemy trying to intimidate you. The enemy does not carry guns. They don't need guns. They just need your obedience. And as long as you're obedient, as long as you're willing to wait in a line, as long as you're willing to wait on hold, they win. Hey, Larry, good to see you, man, from Michigan. So anyway, so that's kind of a brief overview. Now, what President Trump did today, and it's Saturday, the man does not sleep. One of his security guards caught him praying to Jesus at 4 a.m, saying, please help me stay awake. I mean, the guy is I'm comparing him to the Rebbe. The Rebbe also went to sleep at 4 o'clock, if he did it all. So for those of you who want to dance around the idea of Trump being Mashiach, I personally don't care what you call it. You may not call it Mashiach. You can say he's not Mashiach. I met a very nice gentleman. Daniela and I were in a coffee house situation. We had to get our car fixed, so we had to seek refuge in a coffee house. We met a very nice gentleman. The guy said, Palantir nerds to go, needs to go. You're saying Palantir needs to go? I don't know. I don't know. I don't have enemies except my tyrannical government. It's really true. It's really true. But this guy we were talking to, he's a very nice guy from Mississippi, had a lot of interesting things to say. And but about Trump, he said, well, Trump's a liar. I'm like, if you still think that Trump's a liar, that he's not doing the right thing, then you're brain dead. This is what? He did say that. What did he say? No?
He's funny.
He said he's funny?
Yeah.
I thought he said he was a liar. No, he did. He said
he said he loves Trump.
He said he loves Trump. Okay, so I stand corrected. What I heard him under his breath say he's a liar. But anyway, okay, so I'm not going to, that's not what this video is about. I'm going to be dealing with other things. But there was a post saying, thank you, President Trump. This man has done more for humanity than anyone has been prophesied by Kim Clement. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't wrap my mind around Kim Clement. I mean, you don't need a prophet. That's what Q says. I'm sorry. I mean, there are real prophets. It's in the Old Testament. There are real prophets, and there are certain things that prophets have to do. But you don't need a prophet to tell you that Trump is amazing. He's turning this whole evil empire on its head. I mean, yeah, I'm not dissing Kim Clement. I mean, I don't know anything about him, but I can't wrap my mind around people who claim to be prophets. I'm sorry, it's just me. But the enemy is our television. Yeah, I mean that's obvious. You guys are like, I don't know if you're new to the channel, God bless you. We've been doing this for between 5 and 10 years. We've been analyzing this situation. It's for us. I think most of the viewers here are well aware of the fact that the government is the enemy, that the city of London is a tyrannical organization that Trump is dismantling piece by piece, that the enemy is inbred with reptilian and basically hybrids. All these things are kind of, we are understood on this channel. But what President Trump did today on a Saturday, remember, this guy does not sleep. If you want to, if you want to say he's a liar, I mean,
he said he was a liar. He was saying that Trump was saying he wasn't a I don't know.
okay, so Daniela remembers it different, but listen, it's a little point. But there are people who do not appreciate what President Trump is doing, and that's because they're either ignorant or emotionally involved with the idea that he's a bad dude. Like my mom. My mom will not talk about President Trump. She's just like he's bad. He can do nothing. There's nothing that President Trump could do that would convince my mother that he's saving humanity. So I don't even go there with mom. Mom's just like, Mom, let's not talk about this. It's just whenever I mention, I mean, my mom loves everything I do, but she will not look at my channel. She's like, I don't understand your politics. But she does understand my little brother, who was heavily invested in, who's the Assistant Secretary of State in charge of nuclear and biological weapons under Obama. But actually, she doesn't really. Whatever. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it's a crazy world right now. But so the reason I'm saying this is because what Trump has done today is massive in that he has written this thing that psychedelics can be used for therapy. I use psychedelics for therapy. I would not be doing this today. I would not be here. I would not be involved in the adventure that I'm involved with if not for psychedelics back in the day. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm not encouraging it. I'm not a medical professional. But I took my first trip when I was either 14 or 15. I can't remember. I can't remember, either 14 or 15. And it totally changed my life. I came from a secular background. I saw I experienced a way of looking at things that was godly. I didn't go running out to and joining a church or a synagogue. I just appreciated that there was a different way of looking at this reality. And psychedelics certainly helped me identify that. Then years later, when I was living in Tennessee with a very disturbed partner, I started to indulge in mushroom therapy, and I consciously worked through a lot of the negative thinking that was clouding my life. I would examine it. I didn't trip to party. I didn't trip to, whatever. That was not in my, that was not the intent of tripping. The intent, the reason, the way I used the mushrooms was to analyze the negative thoughts. Can you pass the charger? Was to analyze the negative thoughts, and for a while. I did it for a while. I had some very powerful. I got my hands on some good stuff, and yeah. So what Trump has done is he didn't come out with the med beds this week, right? He didn't come out and say ivermectin cures cancer, but he was sympathetic and in line and responsive to the idea that psychedelics could be helpful in treating mental illness. It could also be effective in treating your life. You could be a perfectly normal functioning person who lives in the matrix. You're a normie, and then you trip and you see things in a completely different way, and it's life changing. Again, I'm not saying that anyone should do it. I personally, I would not. I would not be interested at all in doing it again. I've done it enough. It's not interesting to me anymore. I did what it needs to do, or whatever. You understand what I'm saying. So, hey, Golden Valley. By the way, I want to tell people. I want to. In this. So okay. So I'm gonna come back to why Arizona. You've been here since your ex. Yeah, right. Yeah, I got it, man. Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm not saying
Yeah.
it. I'm not saying anything. I'm not going into it. Okay. So there's certain sensitivities that I can't breach. There. So the idea. So what President Trump, he said, and he kept saying, well, the antidepressants that have been used, were they effective? And people were like, no, they weren't effective. They were 25% effective. They were not effective. This is going to slowly destroy, in a way that people can understand, totally destroy the medical model that has been presented to us through our lifetimes. You take a pill, you go to a doctor, he knows best. I lose a lot by having that opinion. I lost my YouTube channel. I lost my ability to make a living. I certainly lost my job with the Department of Education. I'm now losing one of my Facebook channels because whatever things that I'm saying are not in compliance with the federal uh, FDA, whatever that stands for. I don't even want to know. Federal Drug Administration. But I've said things about Lifeway that are apparently not in compliance with the people, that are making that are willing to put up with me and are helping me make a living, which is Lifewave. And I love Lifewave. I love the product. I think it's on another level. I love the idea of the water machine, even though I haven't used it yet. I love these patches. I wear them daily. Right. Okay. So I think that's a good one. I'm reading Kimberly's post. So I'm just going to put it in. Yeah. This is. I think this is really, because I'm about to say something really more warlike. But all things considered, no matter what age we are, think about it. We have been truthfully living through the most astonishing times in history, and you are surviving it. Breathe the air of freedom. That is so beautiful, Kimberly. Thank you for bringing me back into my body. Aren't the drugs of which we speak of a natural plant? Or yeah, they are natural. Most of them are natural plant, or even LSD is made from a rye seed, as far as I understand. So yeah, I agree with Kimberly, and let me bring me back to a more positive way of looking at these things. Yes, there are certain forces out there, but we know about it. It's astonishing that we believed all this. And now we're coming to understand. So I just want to salute President Trump for just doing things in a way that are way beyond my understanding. If it were me, it would be crash and burn. I would take big pharma out to the woodshed and just, take care of it, take care of business. But President Trump is allowing people to wake up, to experience the transformational spirit that is in the air, to get back to nature, to get away from this whole oil-based greasy swamp that is dangerous. That is really dangerous. They're pushing drugs. I mean, the drugs that they push are they pushing drugs that are good for you? I'm saying even in the pharmaceutical arena, I would say not. In the illegal drug arena, I don't really know about it because I don't do drugs, but they're saying that there's some awful drugs out there, and that seems to be the things. And people are dying. People are dying in droves. And Trump is the first one to really approach it because he's not in the drug pushing business. Joe Biden may have been. Joe Biden was probably getting paid by these same creepazoids. Okay, so I want to go back. I want to go back to Arizona, but before I do, because I had a very nice visit today that was transformative, and I want to explain some of the things that I got from it. And if you're here from Locust Valley, I also want to say that, well, I'm not going to say it, but I found an excellent source of a local rancher who sells uh, raw goat milk for your pets in Kingman. So I wanted to share that. I had been previously, we had to travel quite a distance to get some raw goat milk, but now it's available for your pets in Kingman. That's an aside. But okay, so Trump has taken the reins away from big pharma. He's reduced the price of drugs. He's having people are starting to think about things. I assume, I hope, and now with this idea of Obagon, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but this treatment, they're saying like 1 or 2 doses could cure suicide, drug addiction, PTSD. I think I got the initials right. Hey, Jimmy Jones, and all these things. That one or two sessions with this stuff, and I know that from other psychedelic experiences that they are transformative. They were for me. I mean, forget it. 14, 15 years old to have your first experience, and then I did it a lot. I did it a lot in high school, and then I stopped doing it. I became a musician, and I worked. I was more interested in drinking and being a musician, and because the drinking gave me the courage to play and be an outrageous person, which I couldn't do on my own. And then later in life, after I quit the music business, I indulged. Like I said, I used psychedelics for self treatment. I had no success whatsoever with therapy. Therapy was completely wasted on me, and I probably drove a lot of nice therapists insane. So I stopped doing that. I got away from that. It doesn't pay to be a fraud, liar, and thief. It's Chucky Truther. Wow, man, you like you're so creative. You come up with like just such is original every time. It's different, Chucky. I mean, you got to go back to troll school and do better than that. You want to get a rise out of me? Fly the peace flag. I'm flying the flag of the republic because we're really not at peace yet. I almost had my land stolen from me. I went down to the county courthouse because somebody on the channel told me my land was about to be auctioned, and they didn't know how to find it. They were just like, I don't think so. No, nothing that we can. But here's a lawyer. You can call a lawyer, and just sort of like free legal thing. But the free legal guy was like, I don't know really, I can't really help you. I was like, the matrix is insane. They want to put you on hold if you, but so I want to now talk about the life I've chosen, because only the FDA is permitted to use the word cure, right? You can't use the word cure. It'll get you in trouble. Yes, and I'm in trouble. I just had to take down my YouTube, my Facebook channel because compliance. I guess I said something that You know, you can't. I mean, you can't. You could get in trouble for saying the truth. Well, that's the kind of world that I've become accustomed to. I lost my YouTube channel. I lost my job. But am I bitter? No. But if you wanted to take my land without telling me, that's uh, that's a different level of disrespect. I don't know if it was planned. I don't know if I'm being targeted. It doesn't matter. But this is what I want to say. I want to take this out of the negative and put a positive spin on it. The drugs, which hey, pass the popcorn. Yeah. So, but okay. So, what do we appreciate from Trump's using this Ibogaine as a possible treatment for suicidal depression? That he's opening the doors for real cures. Everything is being transformed, but it's like a Q would say 80% of it, you don't see it. You only see 20%. So too with the economy. When you think about it, Nixon, I think it was Nixon, decided to take us off the gold standard and let oil go on to like sort of the oil-based standard. So what is happening behind the scenes is that we are moving from oil as the asset. It was really fake. It's really a debt note with nothing behind it. That happened, I guess, that happened under Nixon, as far as I remember. But now we are going to have an asset based structure based on XRP and XLM, basically, and a handful of other coins. That is going to be the asset behind everything. I just saw a post. I could show it to you if you want to see it, but that IBM began using XLM, Stellar Lumens, as their main communication source between banks, and all banks use IBM 7 years ago. They've been running on the rails have been running on XRP and XLM for a long time. If you don't have any, I would suggest that you get some, because XRP now is selling for $1.40. If it goes to 100,000 and you have that's $500,000 for like $10, about less than $10. Less than $10 investment could end up being $500,000 for $10. If you don't own any XRP, I think you need to think about it. Daniela noticed, by the way, and I've been following XRP for at least 6, probably 7 years. I've been a hodler, and I never noticed that. She just noticed it right away. She says it always goes down on the weekends, and that I can use that to transition into the next thing I want to speak about, which is homesteading in Arizona. But Danielle and I, we went on our first like social call since we've been here. We've been here about almost we're coming into 2 years that we've been here, and a very, very amazing human being by the name of Ed, who has worked up here. He worked up here, and he installed. Oh, I mean, he installed our septic tank. He installed our the with Norm. He works with Norm. He installed our well pump. He installed our first toilet. So I owe a lot to Ed. Ed is one of my heroes. But I was talking to Ed about XRP, and he said, he reminded me that it was that the currency was supposedly oil backed, and then it became just a debt note, but that these rails, the XRP rails, it will maybe it'll be the currency. I mean, I'm kind of like right now. I haven't really solidified this concept of my mind, but the idea of a an asset backed currency. They're saying XRP could be gold, XLM could be silver backed, but at any rate, it will not be it will not be backed by the debt note. The debt note is over. The BRICS thing is not happening. The dollar, it will still be, but it'll be an asset backed dollar. It'll be like a gold backed dollar from the third into the fourth and fifth density. Right, fly the flag. We're in different timeline. Yeah, we're coming. We are in a different timeline. Listen. I agree. The peace flag is very nice, but I want to fly the flag of the republic, because I believe that the republic offers the idea of returning to the republic, to a godly way of understanding this world and our relationship to each other, is high, on a higher level than just saying, okay, let's just have peace now, because there is still friction here. There's still friction between the old world and the new. How else do you explain it? They would steal my land without me even knowing it, without, so much as a phone call or a letter, or they finally hung a piece of paper on my greenhouse down in the valley. So yes, so let's just clip these guys in the bud. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of trolls. Okay, so now I want to go to a more positive. He's opening the doors. Right, that's exactly right. Kimberly's really out on the money today. I'm going to quote Kimberly. Trump is opening the doors for alternative thinking, out of the box solutions, anti matrix ideologies, makes people think just a little bit. Maybe there's another way to do things. Imagine that. Beautiful, beautiful, Kimberly. Kimberly's right on the money. I mean, I hope you have a broadcast, because you should have one. You're really good. You really put it in a NCP 70%. Right. Well, yeah, we know that. We're moving out of the right. Okay, so why not bring out the real cures? Well, because people, it would blow people's minds. I think apparently they're releasing the UFO tapes, this will introduce people to the idea of med beds, just like getting the dust, the uranium dust from Iran, will make it clear to people who helped finance the nuclearization of Iran. And of course, it's Obama and Clinton and these kinds of people. So now the focus, again, I want to say that thank you, spot on. Yeah, got to read the rest to have it make sense. Okay, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but we're moving to the third and fourth dimension, right? So yeah, so here's another batch of ideas that I think should be addressed. We went to visit Ed and his wife, who are homesteading in a different place than we are. He invited us to his house. So we went to his house, and we just had, as Ed said, Ed lived in the Northeast. I lived in the Northeast. He said we had to travel 3,000 miles to meet each other. But Ed is very much on the same page as I am in terms of living life. Want to bring out the real cures, put them in a prescription. And yeah, I mean, I think because the world is not ready. I think the world is not exactly ready. They're going to crush big pharma. They're going to crush the banks. They're going to crush the media. Crush. But it has to be done in a way. That's why all the people are saying the EBS and the 10 days of darkness, and I don't see it. This is not a white hat. From my experience, this is not the kind of way that the white hats bring things in. Remember, they have access to time machines. They know how this transformation is going to go, and it's not going to be a shock. I mean, it is a shock. Maybe not for us. Like my friend reminded me the other day, for normal people, yes, it's going to be a shock anyway. But you can't just shock them out of their gourd and start. I mean, you could, and you and I would love that. We would. That's our dream. Our dream is to have the EBS. We all want that. We want 10 Days of Darkness. We want everyone to take notice. We want everyone to think like we do. Are they capable of it? I don't know. Are they clones? I don't know. Are they NC non-character players? Possibly. Are they able to think outside the box? I don't know. But got cured instead, saying that people would be happy if they thought they were still. I'm saying the people would be happy if they thought they were still getting their drugs. And the gold rush in Arizona, yeah, there's a lot. I know I'm sitting on it. I just haven't figured out how to find it yet. But so here's the thing. Here's the point that I want to make. I came out to Ed's camp, where Ed and Lisa have, they live in an RV just like we do, and they're building a house just like we are. They're building it their way, and they're building greenhouses. And Ed has the advantage of being able to use like heavy machinery. He knows how to do all this stuff, but we have the advantage. We've already dug a well, so that's huge. It's huge because now I can, my fruit trees are, they're strong, man, because they're getting lots of water. They're out in the desert getting full sun, except for the chemtrails. The chemtrails started again today, so tomorrow's going to be cloudy. I don't know what it's going to take to get rid of those creeps. But Lisa and Ed made it clear to me, or reaffirmed the idea that we're living the life, man. I mean, despite the fact that I have to fight the Matrix, and a beautiful person on the channel is bailing me out, so I don't have to think about this nonsense. But to live in with some degree of freedom. I mean, Ed was just like me. He's like, I'm not going to sit on the phone on hold. He understood all this, but he said to me that this life, for people that really love to live, people of action, this is not for somebody who wants to come out here and sit on the internet all day. It's just, you're not, I mean, you could do that. I'm sure you could do that if you had enough money. But if you don't have a lot of money and you love life and you love to do things and you love to fix things and you love to build things, this is the place. We Daniela and I drove to their house the back way. The back way is, in our big truck. In the Jeep, it's a joyride. It's a pleasure. But in the big truck, the back way is a bit. Derek Johnson was saying the EBS cannot scare. That would be catastrophic. You have to ease it, right? So Derek agrees with me. I agree. You can't scare. These people are not going to believe it anyway. They can't hold two thoughts. And that's what Ed was saying, kind of like, if to live here, to live a life, to live a real life where you get up in the morning and just, I mean, he works a job. So he's in a slightly different category, but his wife understands. She gets up in the morning and she takes care of the chickens. She deals with the situations in the house, and it's it's this is but they both agreed that to live up here, to have a large chunk of land, which is very affordable, and to live up here in an RV while you're building your house is absolutely phenomenal. And they were saying, like, I would not trade this for all the money in the world. I would not trade this life. It is that good. So if you really are alive and you want to you want to create your world, your legacy. Ed's camp is very different from my camp. I have a different way of doing things, but each person's land will reflect their inner self in a way that nothing else does. And Ed is like me. He does a lot of different things. He's a sculptor, he's an artist, he's a he's traded forex things. He's a truck driver. He can operate heavy machinery. He's an engineer. He knows how to do electric. He knows how to do plumbing. He knows how to do everything. He said he might even dig the well himself. That's how this he knows about guns. He's just like he has a certain mastery of the joys and the interests that a human being should have. If you live out here, you have to know about guns. I told you the story. I've said it many times. When we came up here, we were about to move onto the land, and an elderly gentleman that I was telling about the situation that I couldn't buy a gun because at the time I didn't have a license. He said, "You can't go up there without a gun," and he sold me a gun. Totally illegal. Who cares? I don't know who it is. I could never identify him, but he was merciful. He says, he just because people out here understand, that there is a world but beyond the matrix. It is a man-to-man thing. You could make a deal on a handshake. As far as I'm concerned, my handshake means a lot more than any 5 contracts. You want me to sign, I could sign for 3 years. I don't really attach any importance to it. But if I make an agreement with you man to man, I say, like I did with my friend Sam. I said, he said, take my trailer. I said, I'll pay you, and that is, I would go hungry before not paying Sam. That's how I feel about it, because I made that commitment. Are you set up to capture rainwater? We are not yet, but we will become. That was something that Ed said. You really have to capture the water. But
not sure until the chemtrails go away.
Well, Daniela doesn't want, she says until the chemtrails go away, she doesn't want to. But we have unlimited access to underground water as well, so we don't really have to worry about collecting rain. But you're right. There is a lot to that. But the freedom that one experiences when you own your own land, and that's what Lisa was saying. She says, I don't know why, there's nothing, no Ferrari, no, life on the Riviera, nothing. Arizona is one of the better states. It's still, we got problems. We got creeps like these pioneer title dudes. They're just like, whoa, we're just gonna take your land. And I'm like, well, can you modify it? And they're like, we can't actually do anything. We don't know how to function because we are in the matrix, and we can't function whatsoever. We're just a title company. We run the world. And I'm saying, like, well, can you talk to me? Can you? No, we can't. You want to talk to somebody, you could talk to somebody else, but you can't really talk to somebody else because the somebody else wants you to talk to somebody else. And then they'll give you, the free legal advice. And then the free legal advice tells you, well, we can't deal with you. Pass the buck, red tape. The world out here, though, is real. You either have water or not. One of the things that I've been thinking about, I've been thinking about a lot of things. One, But before I went to see Ed and Lisa, I thought to myself, what can we build together? We could build a school for pioneers. We could build a community, an unlimited community in Arizona of freedom fighters. We could build, there's unlimited things that we could build out here if because the land is cheap. You can come here, you could buy 40 acres for 20 grand and figure out like we did. Get an RV, move onto the land, figure out a way to dig a well. There's plenty of water out here, at least in where I live. The terrain where Ed lives, he's about 500 feet higher than us, is completely different. You would think you were in a different country, and he's only about maybe 40 miles as the crow flies. But it was completely different. He had lots of trees. The dirt was full of clay. Our dirt is just pure sand and rock. It's just rock. But out here, when you taste freedom, when you live on the land, and that's why I want to have, one of my thoughts is, and again, I'm open to whatever comes. A lot of people say, "Oh yeah, I want to come visit. I want to learn how to do all these things," and say I am open to the future. I'm not programming the future. I'm saying, well, it has to be this way or it has to be that way. It will be the way it is, just like the farm. When the farm started working, it's just like, we'll share everything. They were all tripped out. They were all happy to be out of the matrix. And they were just like, let's just share everything. We'll be okay. After a couple of years or a couple of decades at the farm, people were like, well, wait a minute. I don't want to just share everything. I want to have my own place. And that's a normal thing. So if you buy your own land, you have your own place. But could there be a community around you? Yes. Could we build a community on our land? Absolutely. If there was enough action-minded people that know how to take care of themselves and know how to garden and know how to build a house. The possibilities are endless. We're already talking about how we want to buy one of the properties next door because it has a well on it, and we want to set up a kitchen for a community. I mean, this is just one possible, possibility for the future. But living in a republic, living outside the matrix. The matrix has totally blown it in terms of the traffic, the speeding ticket I got. They gave it over to a collection agency. That means they have no control. That means that they just gave up because there's no way I'm going to pay a collection agency. There's no way. I have no relationship to them. It's so far removed. That's how they get you on taxes. It's not that the IRS calls you. The IRS is gone. There is no IRS. But they hire out these people who pretend to be the IRS. Oh, this is Joe Lawyer. And I'm with the tax collection IRS division. It's like bullshit. You're another flim flam, con artist. And I don't have to deal with you. I went through this already. And my poor son is so innocent. They called him. They said, your father owes the IRS. You have to pay. And they actually got money out of my son. I'm like, Mendel, that's a scam. Those are scam artists. They don't have any power. They're just like the so-called government here. It's not a real government. They don't have any real constitutional authority whatsoever. They're not allowed to tell you can't go on the road without a license. I mean, maybe if you're doing business, maybe they have some kind of a connection with that. But in general, the license is a fake. It's just a bunch of bullshit. So I called them on it, and I'm not saying because they might be listening and they might say, oh, you're wrong, and we're arresting you, but that would not be a legal arrest. They would be doing something horrendous, like selling my land without me knowing about it. But this is what evil is capable of. They don't care about rules. They're criminals. That's why we need to join the republic. That's why we need to work with each other to unify. I'm not going to be raising the peace flag until the republic is established. when we reestablished the republic, and you could join. I have this thing. It's real easy to join. It's a beautiful thing, man. Join the republic, and the white hats are watching. When enough people join the republic, President Trump talks about the republic all the time. We will be there. But in the meantime, creation is we are creators. When I say at the end, you are the force, you are the source. I could, now that I have backing from a member of the community who really is stepped up to the plate and is helping me keep the land, and I've given the agreement that they could have the 80 acres as collateral until I'm able to pay it back. That opens up the possibility that people could come and join us on this land, or they, even better, buy your own land, have your own adventure. You don't need to ride on my coattails. If you want to, if you feel insecure and you need some help, I'll be glad to help you. I set up a solar system. I'm not afraid to do stuff. I set up I got guys to help me put in a pump, and we got a well dug. I'm putting in a garden. I'm growing fruit trees. When we're more settled, where we don't have to travel so much, we will have chickens. Right now, we have lots of friends. Ed and Lisa gave us a dozen eggs that weren't refrigerated. If they're not refrigerated, they'll last for like a month. If you put them in the refrigerator, they might last a few weeks. It's a lot less. But all this is ongoing, and you can have a piece of this, and you could be outside. Do not even talk with this collection. Yeah, I'm not going to talk with the collection. I just see no way. I did send them a letter thinking that it was. I called them and I sent them an email, but I'm not going to. No, there's no way. I mean, I went through this with my credit cards. Do you know, by the way, that my credit score is going up now, since I don't have any credit cards, but apparently after a certain number of years, your credit score just goes up, because that's the way. Because it's the Matrix. So we don't go by rules. We just do what we're mandated to do, which is cause confusion and tell you must do this, but we don't really have it. It's like the Wizard of Oz. I am the Wizard of Oz. You're just like an old man, like a foolish old man when you pull the curtain, and that's what the government is. But we obey them. There are many people. I saw this post, and this is so true. People really like to pay taxes. It gives them a sense of importance and reality. And so Trump slowly is introducing people, saying no taxes on tips. Are you kidding me? If you got tipped, well, now everything is online. So everybody gets tipped. You get tipped. You go to buy something, and they want to know how much you want to tip them. Yeah, I'm not going to contact them. Chemtrails Daily here in Lake Charles. Yeah. Lake Charles, Louisiana, little Bessie girl I once knew. Trump posted "The End Is Near" with Frank Sinatra singing the song. Yeah, let's hope so. Listen, I'm not opposed to it, but it seems like for us, because we've been doing this for so many years, it's like, oh, now he's, psychedelics are now kind of like, used as medicinal, saving lives. How much preparation do people need to jump into med beds? Well, they're saying that the UFO files are going to talk about med beds. I don't know. I personally don't believe in waiting for anything. I want to live my life. And out here, I get to enjoy the real life when I'm not traveling to town to get materials, but that's part of it too. I'm so excited. Tomorrow I get to work on finishing my second floor up there, and we'll start dealing with the roof and the windows on the second floor. and soon I will hire Ed for the day to come and help me pull the RV out of the house so we can build the rest of the house. It's so exciting to build a house the way I want to build a house. And and Ed is going to build a house completely different from, it's just because everyone is different. And oh yeah, there's one other thing I want to say. Do you have a link? Sing it. Do you have a link? I'm not sure what you're asking for. Do you have a link, please? Yeah. So where was I going? I was going with the end is near, and we were talking about that, and the songs, and the I lost my train of thought, but basically, are we coming to the end of it? I think the end would happen a lot faster if people just started leaving the matrix. That's what I got out of today's visit, because Ed and Lisa are so happy up there. They're just so happy. And I'm so happy. Danielle and I have just we've created this incredible life for ourselves. We don't have a TV set. We don't have a mansion. We don't have a fancy car. We don't even have a Jeep anymore. But we have the life. We walk outside. We don't hear sirens. We don't go like this all, we do have supersonic jets that come over and say hello to us every day. And we're really happy to see them. We go out and we wave. We jump up and down. It's so exciting. We love seeing them. But that's about it, man. That's the only people who come up here. Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying, man, if you Ed had the same experience as me. They went through, it's brutal getting from the Northeast. But we also saw on my Patriot channel, on the Republic channel, we heard from a guy who lives in Connecticut, and Ed agreed with me. Connecticut is the worst place on the planet to live. New York is a close second, but to live in a place that's so oppressive, where the people actually believe the government is real, is unbearable. If you are stuck in the Northeast, my brother-in-law, who's a prepper, has been telling me for years, you got to get out of New York. I'm just like, well, I'm having a good time. I was having a good time with the Hasidic community. We were, it's to live with a bunch of people, all they do is talk about God. That's my idea of that's the kind of community I want to live in. But I couldn't wait. Once we decided to get out of there, we were, nothing could stop us from getting here. No amount of trucks breaking down, no amount of silver flying out of my hands meant I was just like hell bent. I'm just like, we just got to go. We got to get through the land. And when we got here, we got lost. Our car got stuck. We didn't know we didn't know what we're getting into. But the amount of land that's available out here is vast, and it's cheap, and the government is useless. They're not going to bother you because they got real problems here. They got real criminals. They got real child trafficking going on here. So if they're gonna wait in the bushes and jump me because I was going 5 miles over the speed limit, that's just, hey man, really, were you vaccinated? That's what I said to the officer. I said, did you get a vaccine? I mean, well, this is your idea of a good day. Oh, I don't have my registration. Oh, I don't have a license. I don't have insurance. I'm like, well, he says, you're going to jail. I'm like, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't even think it's legal for you to pull me over. You watched Trump speak today about the alternative to psych drugs. I knew the end game was very close. Right. By the way, I'm looking for a twin flame in order to get to my land. Can't do it alone. I agree with you, Kimberly. Kimberly, you were so on the money, man. You got to find your twin flame. How do you do it? I asked my friends, how did they do it? They met each other on, of really despicable, disgusting online dating.
Plenty of fish.
What?
Plenty of fish.
Planning what?
Plenty of
Plenty of
fish.
fish. Okay, so yeah, thank you. But yeah, I agree, Kimberly. I would just say, in terms of manifesting, write it down. Like Danielle reminded me when I was asking them how they met. She says, she said, I wrote down, I want to marry, I want to be with a brunette. I was very specific. I wanted a brunette, and I got a brunette. Okay, so the more you write it down, the more you actualize it. There's a point in the manifestation process where you have to do everything you can to get it, and then you have to just sort of give up. Now, Daniela came out of nowhere. I've been looking for my Bashert, my true love, for since I was born. Since I was 3 years old, I've been looking. I've been. Where is she? Really, I remember as a toddler, I was thinking, like, where is she? And then I get this like email. You need me. You want to meet. I'm like, yeah. And then I found out her age, and I said, okay, let me call your father. I want to ask you, make sure it's okay with your father. I called. He's like the sweetest dude in the world. I said, Is it okay if I go out?" He was like, "Yeah, take her." Whatever. Anyway, but my vision board did come true. Yeah, you did it true. Yeah, I think the manifestation process is so important. It's so important that we are godly. We are creators. We are the create. We are the creation. We are the creator. We are. We're not separate. This whole duality consciousness comes from the creepazoids. We are connected. God wants us to have what we want. Sometimes he has to hit you over the head a few times to get your attention. Okay, but basically, it seems to me, and those times are really when it's when he's like, you know that old metaphor. I saw the two footprints in the sand, and then I only saw one footprint. Where did you go, God? He says, well, no, I was carrying you. So there's sometimes when the universal force, benevolent force, has to just get you through it, man. I mean, because you're fighting yourself. But yeah, manifestation, write it down, talk about it, tell people. I tell people everything. I treat everyone as my best friend. You, just like I continue my narrative here. I'll continue. If I meet somebody, I'll pick up where, I'll start mentioning the new points I'm thinking about. That I talked to the other one, and and they're a complete stranger, and I told them my deepest, darkest stuff, and then I get to the end of that, and then I pick it up with the next person I meet, because creation is all connected to me. So it doesn't matter if it's in a different body. This body, responded this way. The other one, might tell me to, just bug off. I don't know. But it's all part of the same big hologram. It's all one unity expressing itself through different pieces. But yeah, I think it's so important to have your Bashert. And it's so important. I mean, we're living the life, and anyone could have this life if you just have a little determination, you have some skills. That's why I kind of like the idea of turning this into a school. You don't need to be a master carpenter. There are a couple of concepts you need to understand. There are a couple of tools you need to buy. It's helpful to have a compound miter saw, in my opinion. You must have some screw guns, some drills, and we buy screws in 50-pound, 25 to 50-pound buckets. Dog feed handle. It's Ed and Lisa looking forward to working. Oh, that's my raw dog food handle. It's Ed and Lisa looking forward to working on our homestead dreams together. Yeah, yeah. I don't understand. Is that for you guys? Is that I don't know, but they are amazing people. Ed is an amazing people. He's an artist. He knows how to do stuff with his hands. He knows how to build stuff. He knows how to dream. He's a completely creative person, and that's the kind of person that's attracted to this kind of life. And in my opinion, that's the real deal. It, if you need a partner, you need a partner, and there's nothing wrong with I had a partner before I came out here. I didn't want to be alone out here. I still don't want, I really don't. I love being with Daniela. I mean, we go through all kinds of stuff together, but it's like that's just part of the thing. She's just amazing. Would you would they're like 40 years in between. We're different ages, and she knows she has a different skill set than me. She's different things that are important to her than are important to me, but it works. So yeah, you need your share, but you also need your land, man. A person needs their land. It says in Torah Judaism that you can a man is not a man until he's married and he has his own house. So it's important. If you bring it up again, click on the link that shows up of the grip, 25-pound, yeah, bucket of 3-inch gray. Phillips said, yeah, $90, right? So I changed that a little bit, the parameters. I needed an inch and 5/8 screw. So for like right, $90. So I needed an inch and 5/8. That's also the size of a drywall screw. So instead of getting the Phillips head bucket for $50 for 11 pounds or whatever it is, I got I decided, well, I saw I could buy the same screws. They're actually a little thinner, which I like because the anyway, I got a bucket of like a 50, I think it was like a 50-pound bucket or 25, a big bucket of drywall screws that I spent half the amount of money on because they were drywall screws and not official. Wait a minute, are they Phillips head? Maybe they're Phillips heads. I didn't even think of that. I might have to return them. I have to check. But yeah, if they're Phillips head, I don't want to deal with it. I have to have the yeah. Gosh, you're helping me think. I also bought some 1/4 inch a wire mesh, and I'm thinking I not 1/4 inch. I bought 1/2 inch. I'm thinking I'm going to return it for 1/4 inch, even though they didn't have any in the store. Out here, you need all the help with the people on the ranch help each other. Yeah, people do help each other out here. If you really, if and there have been many times when I was like, I don't know what to do, and Roger would come at. I'd call Roger, and Roger would help you. But yeah, if enough of us think about it, if a bunch of people move to Arizona and buy, you could buy 50 acres for $20,000. You should probably check out if there's water on it or not, or how deep your neighbors had to dig. That kind of thing is important. Or brittle. The square head is in drywall. Yeah, yeah, I know that, but they go into wood, and I have to see if they're Phillips head or not. If they're Phillips head, I'm going to return them. But for me, because I'm putting 1 inch, I'm putting 1-bys into the floor up here, and the 1-bys tend to split when you put a regular sized construction screw into it. A lot of times, especially on the edges, it'll split. So I'm thinking a thinner screw could be a very good thing for the use that I have. Norm the angel. Yeah, Norm is an angel. Norm has I was telling Ed the story that my trailer, we had a trailer full of water, which is 275 gallons. It was full of water. We were coming back from the pump, and this one before we had a well. a tire blew out. It's a military trailer, so the tire still kind of functions even when the tire is blown out. It still functions. But anyway, we blew out right in front of the ranch, and we were devastated because that was our only way to get water. So I was able to pull it in to the ranch, and I parked it in this like empty space near the dumpsters. The next morning I got a call from Norm. I fixed your trailer. I got, I'm like, we were figuring we're gonna have to leave. We'll never pull it off. That's the end of us. And Norm just, without us even asking him, went and fixed our trailer. And this is the courage. This is the kind of people that are attracted to the land. And Ed, we came out here. I did not know how to use a septic tank. We were living on a latrine, and Ed was kind enough to come out, like, you know, and Norm paid him. I mean, it's just, it's people are people out here. They're not worried about, well, if I do it wrong, you're gonna sue me. There's none of that out here. We can't even relate to that. It's like you got to get something done. You got to get something done. I got to check my nails. I'm not sure if I think they have the wrong kind of. I hate Phillips head. Now I'm spoiled by the deck screws. I'll probably have to return them, but
Well, we have to get them before Wednesday then, or we can't work on the roof.
well, I'll check it out tomorrow. I'll check it out. It could be also that we might use them anyway, so it might be. I'm not that I'm ever going to install drywall, but I could use them for other things. Things don't get wasted out here. Everything is used. We don't throw things out the way you might in town. I just collected two little tiny water pumps that were useless. I'm like, maybe I can use some part of it. Yeah, so you should go out and get it, man. Go time. Hey, good to see you. Yeah, you should go out and buy some egg for 20,000, or 25,000. You could buy 50 acres, and you set up the world the way you want to set it up. And nobody cares if you don't have guns. You better have a gun. Go Tom. You'll be happy out here. I have things to say about telling people to move out here in Arizona. We love our dark nights, so don't move out. Yeah, I mean, people. We don't want to make this into a big city, but I don't think the people that are going to come out here are going to be. I don't know. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Divine Healer. But on the other hand, what if we were able to reestablish? We're reestablishing the Republic in Mojave County. What if there were enough of us out here that we could just, the government couldn't touch us? They would just be like, "You don't come up here." I don't know. You see Arizona land? Yeah, it's what's wrong with Phillips head? Use SCOPE. I don't know what that is. I don't like Phillips head because they slip easy, whereas the deck screws really, the tip really goes in good. But yeah, I know a lot of people use Phillips head, probably with these thin screws. I may just use them for this one kind of application. And we're kind of I don't want to go to town. It's worth. It's not. I mean, the amount of gas I would spend just going to town is probably. It probably just make these screws work. Trump is saving the world from evil. That's absolutely the truth. And we just have to do our part. We have to join the Republic. We have to start living the as if we have to come in and claim our liberty, claim our freedom. That's what Ed and Lisa were like. I wouldn't trade this for anything. To be up here, to be your own sovereign citizen, your own person. You want to have. They have beautiful bird feeders. We don't have bird feeders. We're in a totally different eco climate, and even though we're practically next door, it's not all unified. Land is different everywhere you go. By the way, Ed, I love the drive in. I love those big cliffs in the in the wash, so beautiful. Daniela said, "Let's move here." I said, you can't. It may not be a good idea to move into the wash. We lived in the wash before, but if God forbid you ever do get a flash flood, you don't want to be living in the wash. She says, "Well, isn't there some kind of technology where you can?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. Sometimes best to drill a pilot hole." Yeah, I've done the pilot holes. I do that. I have two drills, one with a drill and one with a screw gun. But that doesn't always work either. But yeah, I mean, these are the kind of things that this is a big deal to us. This is our reality. It's not, the deal with the mortgage company. I mean, these people are absolutely totally insane, incompetent idiots. You can't make a deal with whatever. Anyway, I also want to just say, I was explaining to Ed the technology behind these things. These reflect your own light. They don't put anything into your body. They reflect your own light back at you in certain wavelengths. There are many different patches. Do you want to show me you want to give me some of the patches, babe? I'll just show you. We just got a bunch of patches. I'll just show you some of them, but some are more expensive than others. The X39 and X49 are about $90. The rest of them are about 60 or 70. But this is for SP6 complete. If you have endocrine issues, this is going to be better than. Oh, I can't say it because I'll get my channel taken down. Ice Wave for pain. If you have pain, you could take this. It's a 2-patch system. What else do we have here? Just go through. Aloe Vera opens up your pineal glands, good for your skin. I know the writing's backwards. It'll help you sleep at night. Aloe Vera, Eon. This is one of my favorites, man. Dr. Stacy calls it. I know it's backwards. Calls it the Happy Patch. AEON. Eon, part of the Y age group. The Y age group is carnosine, glutathione, and Eon. Eon reduces inflammation, both mental and physical. Got a lot of aloe vera. That's going to be fun. Glutathione, man, master antioxidant. I know it's backwards, but the glutathione patch is monumental. And Dr. Stacy said that the X39 patch does up your glutathione level, but the glutathione patch does it like 300% more. Here's a big favorite, Silent Nights, for those who have trouble sleeping. And by the way, Energy Enhancer, this was designed for the Navy SEALs. This was his first patch. It's actually two patches. But Energy, I want to say also that my friend Grant used to come onto the channel a bit, and he started using the Aloe Vera patches, and he stopped he had older dudes have problems with going to the bathroom at night. He stopped having to go to the bathroom so much. Before I started really patching, I used to have to go to the bathroom all the time at night. Now it's, once or twice a night. It's not bad. So these patches really work. The other thing I want to just share while I'm, and let me put the contact information here. You can call Dr. Stacy. Let me take this. You can call Dr. Stacy, you text her, Gmail her. She will get back to you. It may take her a couple days. She's signing up. We have a lot of people in our downline. So if you become a brand partner, and she'll help you become a brand partner. If you're a regular customer, you get a better discount if you're a brand partner. But if you're a brand partner, you can be privy. I'm going to show you a little flick. Yeah, let's just go to this for a minute. I showed this last time, but I want to show. Let's see if. Okay, there we go. Okay, let me go to this one. All right, you can watch this movie. Wait, you can't watch the movie. All right, let's stop sharing. I'm sorry about this. They had it all worked out, but then they changed it. Okay, so here we go.
Introducing the LifeWave X2O water technology system, the first and only water technology system that infuses water with light. LifeWave X2O is a category-defining technology that transforms how we experience water through the power of light. Using patented light infusion technology, it energizes every drop of water you drink, releasing light into the body and making it available internally in a way never before possible. Every drop is transformed before it reaches your glass. The result is hydration optimized at the cellular level, supporting metabolism and nutrient absorption, supporting bioelectrical activity, energy levels, and circulation, enhancing wellness and vitality. For many, the impact feels immediate, results in seconds, helping to optimize key physiological functions, with some reporting effects occurring within seconds of consumption. And through hydrogen infusion, delivering antioxidant properties that support the body's natural defenses. When hydration works at the cellular level, you feel it where it matters, in how you move, in how you perform, and in how you recover. Designed to amplify the benefits of LifeWave's non-transdermal patches and Cellergize supplements, it becomes a powerful part of your daily wellness routine. You drink it, you feel it. A new era in cellular hydration, powered by light. LifeWave X2O.
Okay, so that's, I mean, it's a powerful new technology. We're hoping Daniela's trying to order one. They're kind of back ordered, but if you're a brand partner,
Someone already ordered one.
somebody ordered one. If you're a brand partner and you share it with somebody else, your commission is $1,000. So they're taking all the middleman. It's not like it's sold in a store where Walmart makes all the money. The money, if you sell one of these, you will be compensated. If you're a brand partner, $1,000. That's how the company has really restructured a lot of their financing so that the brand partners make a nice bit of money on the patches as well. You can make a nice living doing something that to help people reclaim their health. So yeah, if you buy one and you're one of my brand partners, I would make $1,000. If you share it with somebody and they buy one, you would make $1,000. So it's a nice opportunity. And Dr. Stacy said that almost 100% of people feel the effects immediately. I know we're not allowed to make health claims. I'm not a doctor. But she said there was one person that it took 2 minutes, but people feel this. He's figured out a way to infuse the light molecules into the water molecule. It also takes out all the microplastics. It is hydrating, I guess, but it's a whole filtered system. You don't. It's not like the kind of water system that you'd be drinking it all day, because it sounds to me like you would be going through the roof. I mean, Dr. Stacy says after 3 o'clock, she doesn't touch it because it's so energizing. I'm not making claims. I'm just saying, this is definitely worth looking into. We want to get one. They're a little bit back ordered. You might have to wait a bit, but these X2O machines, you can call Dr. Stacy and order one today. It's phenomenal technology. We're looking forward to experiencing. So that's just a little aside. Okay, let me go to you want one? Yeah, we want one too. I believe the chemtrails directly responsible for the increase in world vibrations, the Schumann resonance, right? Read my above post. I believe the chemtrail. Yeah. Oh, the angel girl. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see if I can find angel girls above post. Not sure. I don't see it. Angel girl, read my above post. Okay, I got to go way back. You may have to post it again, Angel girl. I'm not sure. But anyway, so that's it. Contact Dr. Stacy, get some patches. If you can't afford the water machine, I understand, but PayPal has some kind of way you can pay for it. I have a history with PayPal. They made a mistake once, and it enabled me to move forward in a lot of things. There are miracles that can happen. The matrix is not, it's not it's not godly. It's satanic. And they make mistakes because they're idiots. And they're sick. All right. So anyway, so yeah, so that's my pitch on LifeWave. It's a great technology. It's about electroculture. It was about electroculture. Okay. So you'll how that's how LifeWave works. Will be under the person who showed you this information. You don't have to be a distributor if you don't want to buy them every month. Right. This is what we do. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, in order to get the best price, you have to be a brand partner. I think it costs $25 to become a brand partner. It's not a big deal, but it's so nice. Yeah, it was great to meet you. Also, Lisa, you guys are you're a reflection that we needed to see. We needed to see another person living the life we do, and to see. And you're saying the same things as us. Like, it's so nice here. There's it's quiet. There's no interference. It's just pure joy. And the other thing that Ed said that I just can't, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around what it is, but there's so many things to do here that you have to be careful, that because I will start filling up a bucket. You have to fill up a bucket to flush the toilet. So I'll start filling up a bucket, and then suddenly I'm like, the plants, and I'm like, I put a tomato in the ground and a bunch of little tomato plants are coming out. It was a delicious tomato. Now I have 15 tomato plants, and you can get so involved, or you look at your nails and your screws and whatever it is. Everything out here is fascinating. You can just look up and you see so many beautiful things that that often it happens to me that I forget that I'm running water, and Danielle's like, Ellie, the water's, I'm here, water running. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot the bucket, because this is the life. It's hard to explain, but the fact that Lisa and Ed were, they were saying the same things that I think, but I never had anyone else express it. That's the beauty of it, of having people who understand where you're coming from. It's just it's hard. You can't explain it to some. I don't think. But there was something that I knew instinctually that I needed to go onto the land. But it again, the manifestation. God talks to us when, just like Trump. Just like Trump is like saying, okay, well, let's talk about this psychedelic therapy. Instead of saying, okay, the med beds are coming out next week. And everyone's like, what? Or, ivermectin cures cancer. Why are they not talking about that? Because it would probably blow people out of the water. It's amazing out here. It is amazing out here. The sun shines, the winds whip sometimes. It's not like physically, it's not like sitting on your couch in front of your TV set with your cool drink in the city, but the benefits of living out here are colossal. You will have peace of mind you never even thought, and you will have situations that are like, holy, what am I going to do now? And then you do it. You figure it out. And like me with the solar panels, I was terrified. I've never really dealt with electrics. And, I'm like, well, this makes sense. The current goes here and the negative goes here. And and I figured it out. And it was like, wow, man, I can do electrics. It's not that big a deal. Plumbing, everything. You have to be able to do it yourself. You don't want to be having people come out here, because then people know about what you're doing and where you live. You don't need that. Ed and Lisa were telling me about a story, but they had somebody hired a contractor, and then the next thing they know, they were being robbed. We value our privacy. But would I be interested in showing people how to do it? Yeah, maybe I could even do it online. I don't know. I don't know where this is going, but I just know I was around when the farm started. I just remember, hearing the Saint Stephen with the rose in and out of the garden. He goes, that was about Stephen Gaskin, about him starting the farm. Everywhere, everyone, wherever he goes, the people all complain. Stephen Gaskin, man. I mean, he blew the world. He revolutionized the world, as did Ken Kesey and Jack Kerouac and all those dudes back in the day. Well, it didn't go down that way because the creeps were in power and they used it against us. But now is the time. Trump is busying the bad boys with they're being taken down, and while they're being taken down, we got a chance to run for it and start preparing the new world for yourself. So am I encouraging people to buy some land? And I'm just saying, man, we were living on the ocean. We had the life. That was like, I thought that was as good as it gets. I'm living on the ocean. I got the water to sing me to sleep. But it wasn't enough because I was still in the city and I was breathing the disgusting air from the chemtrails and the airport, and it was affecting my girl's skin. So we said, let's move to Arizona. We got on Zillow and it was like, wow, man, a house that I really like is $500,000 on 5 acres. And then I saw a thing for 120 acres of land for, no, 170 acres for 120,000. I said, that sounds good. Yeah, I didn't know it was in the middle of the desert. I didn't know, that a real estate agent called me. She was trying to sell me a house, and I said, well, I just bought some land. She says, you just bought land on top of a mountain. I'm like, is that bad? I don't know. It's been a trip, man. I mean, it's not easy, but you could have it. Jack Kerouac, nice. Yeah, I mean, back in the day, those were our heroes. Yeah, I mean, and Stephen Gaskin with the farm, and I went to some other communes. I went to a short mountain in Tennessee, unbelievable commune. But it's for gay. What?
Talking too much.
I'm too much.
An
I'm talking
hour
too
and a
much.
half.
I had too much coffee. But
No,
but
I mean, an hour and a half.
okay, I went an hour. Okay, so I'm going over. Anyway, I didn't even get to the news, but we don't need news. We are the news. So we'll continue more tomorrow. I have to be. I want to be good to my girl. So thanks, Ed and Lisa, for your hospitality. It's so nice to be with people who understand what this is. This is a chance to live a real life. It's not easy. You have to be prepared for, you have to figure stuff out yourself. There's no one going to come and save you up here, but I don't think anyone's going to save you in the city either. All right. So may the force be with you. If you keep telling how wonderful it is, you may end up with a lot more neighbors than you ever want to be. Yeah, it's okay, man. I mean, I think it's okay. I really do. What if we had a bunch of righteous people up here, forming a community and telling the government to go fuck themselves? I mean, we're the republic. We could institute the whole republic. Will the National Guard come out? And I don't think so, because they're all white hats. I think if we could establish the republic in Mojave County, which is what I'm trying to do. I may be a bit of a blabbermouth, but I see the stars at night. I see the Milky Way. I see the most outrageously beautiful stars you can imagine. The view during the day is, it's out of a movie. Was it expensive? No, because nobody appreciates the value of living on your own property. Nobody appreciates it, because I mean, I appreciate it in Brooklyn. I lived on a tiny little corner house in Brooklyn. I'm sorry.
No.
What? I have to
Yeah,
quit.
happened.
Okay. Anyway, I have to quit. I have to be good to my girl. But everybody should find the shared. Everybody should do what they want. Absolutely. We lived in the real life up in the neighbors. Yeah. The neighbors are good in the city. they might eat you, right? The neighbors in the city, they might be Satanists and they might eat you. I love you, Ed and Lisa. Thank you so much. We had such a great time. But yeah, anyway, I have to say goodbye. But we'll be back tomorrow night. Let's see. I'll try to make a little video, and may the force be with you. Use the force. Find your Beshert. I forget, it was Kimberly, I think, said she needs to find her Beshert first. Yeah, find a guy. Let him know that you want to go. You want to go homestead, and the right guy, like Lisa found and Ed found each other. They're just such a beautiful couple, and I found Daniela. It's just to want to really do something, to build something, to be constantly creating is joyful beyond belief. So may the force be with you. May you use the force. May you realize that you are the force. May source be with you. May you use the source. So beautiful. I love everybody here. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for enjoying. Thank you for using our Lifeway products. I don't get paid by the creeps that run YouTube and all the other places, even X. But but at least they let me. At least they don't try to censor me. So that's good. And let's get out there with a big smile on our face. Enjoy this life. It's so beautiful.